welcome to my channel. I am Stephanie. This is the October wrap-up and stats. Okay, so like I said, this is the October wrap-up and stats, which I will go over quickly, and then there will be a slideshow with all of the chronological book covers in order and little extras for you guys, so that you know which videos to watch if you decide that you want the full thoughts and feelings for any of the books that I talk about within the wrap-up, as well as just the other books that you may see in the slideshow. So let's just jump right into it. Here are my reading stats. I read 22 books in the month of October. 11 were audiobooks, 11 were ebooks, and I read 7 arcs. For the ratings, I DNF'd 1 book. I had 0 1-star books, 0 2-star books, 0 3-star books, 15 4-star books, and 6 5-star books. This section is huge this month. This is my blackout portion where I talk about the Black authors that I read for the month. And let's jump into those because there are a lot of them this month. So first, starting it off, we have The Silent Waters by Brittainy Cherry. We have Pit by Blue Saffire. The Princess Trap by Talia Hibbert. We have Desolate by Autumn Gray. Disgraceful by Autumn Gray. Absolution by Autumn Gray. That is a series that I finished reading. We have Missing at Christmas by Katie Richards. A Very Intimate Takeover by LaQuette. We have Christmas Data Breach by Katie Richards. We have His Pretend Baby by Theodora Taylor, which was the Brown Nipper Challenge a couple months ago, but I finally got to read it. We have Christmas in Rose Bend by Naima Simone and A Kiss to Remember by Naima Simone. Then we have, and finally, not least, That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon by Kimberly Lemming. This is her debut novel. Go read it. It's so good. For book news, we have Indies Invade Philly, which is happening in the month of November. So for those that are Patreon patrons, you guys will probably get a vlog of my trip. That happens to be my husband's birthday weekend. So he is driving me up there because I'm not fully comfortable with my eye yet to take longer trips, and that is a full day trip. And with the diagnosis that they think that I have, stress and overusage really plays a part in my sight. So I have to limit it, which means since being that it is a day trip, there's no way for me to be able to drive up and drive back by myself. So he has to come with me, but patrons will probably get a vlog of that event. Then I am enjoying my time off. As I have said, it has really toned down on the stress level for my eye. I haven't had a relapse lately, but with the end of the school quarter, I have felt it ramping back up and things like that. I've had some more tests and things come up, so it has been a little bit stressed. So I have been feeling it more. I'm starting some new perks for my Patreon patrons, which includes a lot more early accesses, as well as sort of a lunchtime live that I'm going to be trying out over there. So if you, like I said in the beginning of this, if you are able to afford $8 per month, which kind of averages out to about $2 per video, because you are guaranteed 4 to 5 videos per month, you can do that, as well as participate in these extra perks that I'm starting for them. And then we have some holiday stuff that is coming up, so I'll be doing holiday videos over there as well. And I want to send a huge thank you to my patrons. You guys are absolutely amazing. I greatly appreciate you, and I love interacting with you, but publicly, thank you. Thank you so much. And for my priority reads, which is one thing that they have access to, making a decision to have me read a book that's a priority. The choices for this month are Paper Doll, Lina by Robin Lucas, Well Matched by Jen DeLuca, which is book number 3, I believe it is, or Ghosts of Christmas by Kenya Wright. And this book has illustrations in it. So those are the priority reads for that, for them this month. Alrighty, my favorite part of this, because I get to jabber on about 5 amazing books that I think everyone should go read. And this is my top 5 reads of October. Starting it off, I want to talk to you guys and tell you guys to go check out That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon by Kimberly Lemming. So I placed this book in paranormal romance as well as fantasy. This is Kimberly's debut novel, and I loved every single moment of it. I am not a huge fantasy reader. Fantasy just does not do it for me. But this book definitely has a Lord of the Rings feel to it, with sexy paranormal creatures, as well as some spicy journey, that goes on with it. Oh, I loved it oh so much. So our main character is a cinnamon farmer, and she ends up running into the thing that made her town feel like there was an earthquake, and come to find out it's a demon, and the things that she thought she knew about her world aren't correct, and they go on his quest, and it's so much fun. You meet a whole bunch of different demons. And one thing that I loved about this book, there is a level of social commentary that deals with race in the real world that she brings into this fantasy world, and she does it with a new Kimberly. I'm talking about Kimberly at this point. She does it with this nuance that kept me so engaged and didn't feel like it was trauma porn or social justice, dialogue that it was just like thumping you overhead that the social injustice is wrong. We know that it's wrong, and we know that it needs to be fixed. And the way that she constructed the story around all of that was just, chef's kiss. I cannot wait to read more books from Kimberly Lemming and to see if she ends up following this this well-balanced sort of take of her storytelling in this fantasy world, as well as bringing real world issues into the stories. She did an amazing job at it, and I loved it. And I think for her first time out the park, loved it. Next book I'm going to talk about is A Very Intimate Takeover by LaQuette. I had been sleeping on LaQuette for a while, and then I read her book Jackson. Well, this book right here, it was provided to me for a project that I was doing, so I got a chance. Now, when I first saw LaQuette post the picture of this cover, I was like, oh yes, I was here for this cover alone, and I was so happy that I had started following her and was like, oh, I need to read more from her and everything like that. I am so happy that I got to read this book and got to partake in LaQuette's take on a Black dynasty. So if you don't know about the soapy primetime television show called Dynasty and Miss Diane Carroll, woo! This book right here is gonna put you in that feel, and it was absolutely amazing. Mwah. It is about a father and a son that have a rift, but there is some family business that needs to be taken care of, and the daughter/granddaughter ends up coming in to take it over and is doing her thing. But there is a found sort of family member that the grandfather has taken under his wing that thinks that, they should be the one that takes over, and there's some entanglements and some things that end up happening. Woo! It's sexy, it's soapy, it's good, it's just, Ooh, it's heart touching, and I was here for every single moment of this story, and the visuals that I received from LaQuette's writing to put me in the headspace for this story. I was like, yep, I'm here for this. I am here for this. Give me more. Give me more. And I cannot wait for the rest of the books in this series to come out. Next book I'm talking about is Red Sin by Aleatha Romig. And for anyone that has watched my channel for any amount of time, you guys know that I absolutely love pretty much everything that Aleatha writes. I normally do not give any book, even books by Aleatha, 5 stars right off the bat. But this one, I got to do it. I got to give it 5 stars right off the bat, because so if you haven't read White Ribbon, you actually get White Ribbon within this story. So technically you don't have to go out and search for the prequel. It's the first like 6 or 7 chapters of Red Sin. So you get this full story, and I think that probably is the reason why I'm like, over the moon for this. So we have a arranged marriage that is in negotiations. We have family legacies that are trying to be saved. We have an age gap. We have some revelations that we are mind-blowing, because I kind of knew it. I was like, that's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. And then when Aleatha gave it to me, I was like, ah! Ah! Boo! I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming, but it didn't come out the way that I thought it was gonna. And it was so good. So good. So good. I love the way that Aleatha can twist a story and lead you through this path that you're like, okay, we're safe. We're safe. We're good. We're good. But that character already answered that question, and you know, what have you. But then it's like, but did he really? But there's more. There's more. So this book does leave you on a cliffhanger because it is the first book in a series, so be aware of that. But if you're looking for a good, twisty, crazy, arranged marriage, age gap, sexy times, this is going to be a book for you. Yes, go read it. Next, I'm going to talk about The Silent Waters by Brittainy C. Cherry. She started my month off in tears, but this book was the book that I needed to read along with the author's notes. So don't skimp on that if you do end up picking this book up. There's so much goodness in this book. It wrapped my soul and just spoke to it. So we have our 2 characters. One ends up is being involved in a very, very traumatic event during their childhood. It's about blending families. It's about dealing with childhood trauma. There are content warnings for mutism, trauma, childhood trauma, family disputes and things like that. Then there's also some PTSD during adulthood as well. So there are a lot of content warnings for this, but it's going to rip out your soul. And if you're hearing, like, if you see this recommendation enough times that you end up picking up this book, it is the time for you to read this book. The message just hit so well, because I have had this book for years. For years, I have had this book and have wanted to read it for years. But it didn't fall in my lap to be the book that I needed to read until right now. And I'm going to stand by that thinking. So, like, if you pick up this book and it's just not calling to you, it's not grabbing you, it may not be the right time for you to read this book. This may not be the message that you need to receive right now. Because I really believe that this book and this book's message is provided to you when you need it specifically. Yeah. That I think that's all I'm going to say about that. But I loved it. I loved it, and I received that message. And don't skimp on the author's note either, because that, Brittainy, you got me with that one. You got me with that one. And then finally, we're going to talk about The Heart Principle by Helen Hoang. This is the third book in the Kiss Quotient series, and this deals with, I actually kind of put this book more in the women's fiction side, because we're dealing with our main female character as well as our main male character, dealing with the realizations of themselves. And I think that that nuance of their independent realizations really kind of overtakes their combined romance within the story. I still think it was very powerful and very beautiful in the way that they came together. And I think our male character for this book, Quan, which is a story that I have been wanting for since I started the series, I really, really enjoyed hearing his side of it and finding out the things that he went through. And I can understand now why Helen had such a hard time writing this book, because it is very, very realizing. Our characters go through a very profound sort of realization. I think I've said that word quite a few times within this one review, so I'm trying to think of another word. I can't think of another word, but they're I'm not sounding very smart right now either, because I can't think of words. Their understanding for what they are going through, their personal journeys that they end up taking, is so beautiful, and I just really, really loved this story. So go check it out. There are content warnings for this. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but if you see my book review over on Goodreads, I'll have the content warnings typed out there for you guys. So other than that, I don't have anything else to say. This was kind of a long, I usually do these really kind of quick, and this one isn't. Sorry about that. But now you can either jump to the chronological book covers, or you can listen to this right here. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Also, there's a feedback form down in the description box so you guys can help me improve my channel. My PayPal, my Patreon, and all my other social links are down in the description box. So if you guys want to follow me anywhere and everywhere, because I'm still doing short form, with a few sprinkled in long form videos that I have pre-recorded, go check those out. And I thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in another video.